Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. And today we're going to look at the all-new 2017 Kia Niro. This is the Super Bowl commercial with Melissa McCarthy and the whales and the rhinos, kind of the funny little commercial that they put out during the Super Bowl. It's an all-new, they're calling it a hybrid crossover. Now, I will say this, it's a little bit smaller than most crossovers on the market. And so it's almost a cross, and I've seen some reviewers comparing it to almost a cross between a Prius and a RAV4, if you're familiar with the Toyota lineup, in terms of its height and stance. Due to its styling, you sit up a little bit higher, but just something to note. So again, this is all new, 5 trims available: the FE, the LX, the EX, the Touring, which is the top of the line, and the Touring Launch, which is a limited trim just for this year. So with that being said, Dad, let's get into a quick walk around, show everyone the styling. Apologize for the bugs, just actually took people and picked people up from the airport. But what comes on the Touring? Well, you see that glossy front grille, that glossy black front grille, I should say. You've got xenon, I want to make sure I get this correct. Take that back. Xenon headlights are an option, which this car does not have. You have 18-inch wheels, front and rear parking sensors, a sunroof, driver memory and driver power seats, ventilated and heated front seats, but specifically on the Touring, you get the ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, leather upholstery, the 8-inch infotainment system, the 8-speaker Harman Kardon audio system, I'll swap over here, LED interior lights. The options available are xenon headlights, 110-volt outlet, wireless phone charger, and there's also a Touring Advanced Technology package, which essentially gives you all of your safety features. This vehicle does not have it, but it gives you your frontal collision, your automatic braking, your adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitor. Actually, take that back. This has blind spot monitoring on it, but it gives you your rear cross traffic, all that fun stuff. One thing I will comment on this vehicle: you don't see a whole lot of hybrid badging on it. Kia hasn't blued out their logo, greened out their logo. The only thing indicating that this is a hybrid is this little tiny badge back here where it says Eco Hybrid. Now, some of you are going to say, well, I want people to know I'm driving a hybrid. Well, while others are going to say, I don't really want people to know. In this car, we talk about sleepers in terms of the muscle car world. This is actually kind of a sleeper in the hybrid sense. I don't know how many people get in this car this week and say, wait, this is a hybrid? Part of that comes from the 6-speed automatic transmission that they put in it rather than a CVT transmission. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. Let's open up the trunk. No automatic trunk from back here, but again, if you just give it a little bit of a bump, it will open up. As you can see, a decent back room, this is kind of where it gets its crossover styling from, which, real quick, you have 19.4 cubic feet with the 60/40 second row seating up. If you fold those down, it increases to 54.5, which is right about average. You're not going to set any records with this, which we'll actually talk about the records in a second. However, you do have quite a bit of storage underneath here, which is a really nice feature. You can put med kits, jackets, water bottles, whatever you possibly could want back there. Again, 60/40 rear seat will fold down fairly easily, is a really nice feature there. A couple other features before we hop into there. This has a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine in it. It averages, I'm going to give you 2 different averages. So the FE in the lower trim levels average 52 in the city, 49 in the highway for an average of 50. The Touring is rated for 46, 40 for an average of 43. I can tell you that in this Touring, we've been averaging right around 50 miles per gallon, right between 48 and 50, depending on who's driving it. So I think Kia might be a little bit, not off, but they're probably being a little bit more conservative in their numbers. I feel like you can be on the high end. Last thing, again, they set a Guinness Book World of Records for this car, driving from LA to New York, or it might be vice versa, on only 4.1 tanks of gas. That's an average of 76.6 miles per gallon, which is incredible. Gotta say that. Dad, let's head to the back seat here really quick. And we'll hop in. We'll move the snow brush over really quick. So we're going to slide in. This seat right here is set for about a 6-foot individual, not much more. You're not going to have a ton of room back here, just being honest with you. You've got slight indentations right here, which allow you to do it. But again, this is set for a 6-foot person. Actually took my grandparents back from the airport this afternoon, and they had more than enough room. My grandma's about 5'5", so she had plenty of room. But again, you're more than welcoming back here. Door apportionments, some plastic materials. Again, on the touring model, you do have a nice soft touch leather material right there. You do have vents back here. There's no heated seats, anything like that. Dad, if we can show them. You do have 2 cup holders here in the kind of center console back here, which is a really nice feature. Last thing I'll comment on, and Dad, I'm not sure if you can show it, is headroom. I've got a large amount of headroom, and some of you guys know Walt from our reviews. We put Walt in the front seat of this. He's 6'4". Yeah, he had to lean the seat back a little bit, but his head didn't hit, and he didn't have any issues getting in and out of the vehicle. So just something to note. Also, one more thing, these doors nearly open 90 degrees, which, so even though it's a smaller back opening, it gives you the ability to get in and out relatively easily. So with that being said, let's head to the front seat. All right, fans, here we are, front seat, 2017 Kia Niro. Show you the door apportionments first. A little bit of storage there for water bottles, some maps, that sort of thing. Similar soft touch as the back. You do have automatic up and down windows here in the front seats, which is really nice. Continuing throughout, I really like what they've done with the cabin. Just kind of giving it a nice, sleek, I guess kind of newer age type of a feel. You got the Eco Hybrid badging right there, which is nice. Comfortable seats. This is just a manual seat, I will say, not a power passenger seat. Takes a little bit getting used to where the handles actually are. You do have heated and ventilated front seats though, which is really nice. That's right here along with your heated steering wheel, which is a really nice feature. Down here it's hard to see, but you do have 2 12-volt power connectors, a USB, and an auxiliary port. The glove box just has a power port in there, no USB. Dual climate control, the 8-inch infotainment system we just described. No other buttons for adaptive cruise because it doesn't have it on this vehicle, but those would be right in here, would fit right in line with that. A little bit different, instead of the RPM, obviously, gauge, you have your charge, eco, and power mode there. You've got your blind spot monitoring warning on this other side, and your driver memory over here as well. And it does have auto fold-in mirrors. Last but not least, Dad, before we drive, this is the sunroof, just for the front seat. Nice and wide, though, which is a pretty good feature in our opinion. So with that being said, let's take a quick drive. 2017 Kia Niro. All right, fans, 2017 Kia Niro driving portion. Before we do this, I want to show you the rear view camera. It does have dynamic grid lines that we like to say. Allows you to back anywhere you might need. Really is a nice crystal clear on that 8-inch display. This is all of Kia's pretty much standard things. If you're not familiar with the Kia, you can go to the hybrid and it will show you where everything is at. And we'll pull out here. Well, we've got a little bit of a chance. I don't have exact horsepower figures for you, to be honest with you. I'll open this for a little bit better lighting. I don't have exact horsepower figures for you, so I apologize. One thing I can tell you, it's got more than enough pep in its step to get up and go into traffic. The 6-speed transmission works really, really well. It does not, it does not stall, I guess is the best way I know how to describe it, like you typically see with the CVT transmissions. It works seamlessly well, and it allows you to achieve really good fuel economy. As you can see, this is Kia's hybrid technology here. No all-wheel drive offered, just front-wheel drive, which is pretty standard with hybrid vehicles, and honestly here in Colorado would be just fine. Most front-wheel drive vehicles get along just fine here. You do not need that all-wheel drive unless you, I guess, are absolutely have to have it or driving through several inches of snow on a daily basis, but even then front-wheel drive may very well do. You'll see right here that this is our fuel economy, and I reset this before our last drive out to the airport, so it's down a little bit, but it's right at 46.9, so 47 miles per gallon. I said earlier we've been averaging as a whole right anywhere between 48 to 50 miles per gallon. Again, 1.6 liter, 4-cylinder. You've got the battery on here. Price point. So this vehicle, as it sits right here, I got the window sticker, make sure we don't run into anyone here, is priced after destination everything $30,545. If you put on the technology package, which gives you some of those safety features, this vehicle gets, and I want to make sure I get it right at 32,840, so right at 33. Now, the FE, the lowest base, which still gives you that tremendous fuel economy, out some of the creature comforts, is right at $23,000, just a hair under that. The reason I tell you all of that is because this is a fantastic value for a car. You are going to be hard-pressed to find a vehicle with all of this that does not look like a hybrid. And yeah, I'm going to say the Priuses look like a hybrid car. So if you don't want to go buy a Prius, this may be the car for you, because it does not shout I'm a hybrid, does not say I'm a hybrid. You wouldn't know until you actually get in this car and drove it, even for a while after the battery worn down a little bit, that this car actually is a hybrid. So, in our opinion, Dad, I'll let you give yours. I love this car. I think it's fantastic. I think that for the money, this is incredibly hard to beat for the features that you get. You essentially can get a car that's going to get you 50 miles per gallon, and possibly even more than that, depending on the amount of city driving that you do, for $23,000 roughly. Now, obviously, if you want to add some creature comforts, it's going to go up, but that's incredible. Whether it be your first car as an urban commuter, it be your first car for a kid, whatever it might be, I think that this is a fantastic buy. You sit up high enough to where you can see the road, but not so high that you feel like you're in an SUV. Those are kind of my 2 cents. Dad, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree with all of that. Richard drove this car much more than I did because, honestly, I think it fits his demographic better than me. But compared to, like Richard said, Prius and some of the other hybrids that I've personally driven, this car works phenomenally well. You don't know when the engine engages, when it disengages. The transmission works fantastic. And one thing I noticed about driving this car is the hybrid drive system works really, really well, even at highway speeds, which a lot of hybrids will shut off and not even allow the battery to work over a certain speed limit. In this car, it works all the way on up. I drove this car 70, 75 miles an hour, no problem. And the hybrid system just works fantastic. So thumbs up, Kia.
Absolutely. And 2 more things to add. Road noise, some of you are going to ask. It's a little bit noisy. I will say that, especially when you get up to highway speeds. You're going to have to be the judge of that. It wasn't something that was so noticeable. Again, I had my grandparents in here, and honestly, they will comment on pretty much everything in a vehicle, and they did not mention the road noise. So take that for what it's worth. Last thing, you can go to Kia's website. Compare this to any vehicle, any hybrid that's on the road today. I did a quick comparison for a Toyota RAV4, similarly equipped as this vehicle right here. This one, again, right at $30,000. The RAV4 would be right at 35. RAV4 hybrid, I want to say that. You get 12 more miles per gallon in this Kia than you do in the RAV4, and that was just what it's rated at. So, just throwing that out there, you can be the judge, which we always encourage everyone to do. Get out, test drive these vehicles yourself, see if it fits you, see if it fits your family and your lifestyle, if the cargo room is more than enough. But in our opinion, Kia, 2 thumbs up from a Secure Drive Radio. When you go check out this vehicle, tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.